my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I'm so pleased you've joined me here. For today we'd have a play around with a file folder. I got sent some by my dear friend Dawn. Thank you, Dawn. Hello, my love. And also I'm going on a bit of inspiration from a video series. There was a couple that she did on doing a little file folder like this. So this is what inspired me. This is Dawn's pattern, like the skeleton really, so to speak, of the file folder projects that she did. This was like part one, and there was a series of a few parts. So I wanted to do something like this, but with still keeping the whole length, so possibly something like this. But then there was a couple of ideas, like I didn't want flaps, I want these to be actual pockets, and I took off the top, and then I was thinking maybe keeping this top so it folds over, so that when it's shut nothing comes out. I'm still undecided about that. I'm going to see how it looks, because I was going to keep it wider, because I've had to do some of these gaps wider than this one, so that it will incorporate both pocket bits that are 1/4 of an inch each. So whereas Dawn's one's 1/4 of an inch there and there, mine would have to be half, and then 1/4 here, and these little ones. But I was thinking, if I kept a flap with a 1/2 inch crease up there, once this was folded, that would fold down and make sure that nothing escapes. But yeah, like I said, I am undecided about that. And also I want to make a boho file folder, because normally I don't think I've got one to hand. I've made big file folders in the past that have got pockets and whatnot, and space for a journal and stuff in boho style, with the Amazon packaging that folds like that, and then a little bit like that, you know. I've got a few of them. I've not got one to hand to show you, but they're quite big, and I normally cover them in wallpaper. Well, I can't get out at the minute to get some more wallpaper, and I've not got any to do the job that I wanted to do, so I'm going to use one of these instead. And another thing, I love this colour. I love this, but I love this more. So I'm going to flip mine inside out and start with this being my outside and this being my inside. So, right, what am I going to do first? We've got to do our scores first, and I'll put this over here so that I can see what I did. Right, so I scored at 4 1/4 first. So let's do that. I've only got a little scoreboard. I have got another longer one, but it ain't got all the quarters and everything marked off on it. It's not a very good one. So I'm using this one, and I went to 4 1/4 and made my first score. And as you can see, I've got to flip over now and go 4 1/4. So part of it will be scored the wrong way, but it don't matter. That was the other scoreboard I told you about. That will teach me to balance things. Right, so then we've got our half, and then we need another 4 1/4. So we go there. Try and get that right close, lined up flat and flush. Right. And then we need another 4 1/4 once we know we've got it in the right place. If you've got longer scoreboards, you won't be having these issues at all. It's just me. And if you haven't got a scoreboard at all, you can just draw in the lines and then, or mark off the spaces. And then what Dawn did was like pushing her thing up to a ruler to get the score in place. Now I would never have thought of that, so thank you Dawn for that. And so then this one, I'm going to turn it round that way, and that comes up there at 4.5, so I'm going to score down there. I just thought it would be easier to do this final one. So that's the half, I want the quarter. Oh, I went really wonky then. Yeah, that's really wonky. Okay, let's get it in place again. So 4.5 and a quarter goes there. That's better, that looks much more straight. Right, so we've got our quarter fold there, we've got a half here, and we've got a half here. And now I need to be getting rid of some of the bits. So this bottom piece is 2.5. So, oh, Dawn was much better at this than I am. This is the worst bit for me, all of the cutting out and losing bits and all of that. So, right, so I know that on Dawn's one, this part was 2 and, what was it, 2.5, and then there was a quarter there for that bit. Right, so I know from Dawn's one, that she did, that this was 2.5, and then that bit was a quarter. So I'm going to put my ruler at 2 3/4, and then mark at 1/4 inch and at nothing. And I'm going to do those marks all the way along so that I can then line them up with my ruler and just lightly make the mark before I either score or cut it off completely. No, Mummy's in the living room. Go on. Oh. Love you. Sorry. It's Olivia. She likes going out. I've got 2 doors to my front room. So she likes going out of one, walking through the dining room and then going in the other one. Not in the living room. Right, hang on. Right, 2 3/4, and then I'm marking at 1/4 and at nothing. 2 3/4. A 1/4 at nothing, and then yeah, we can go along. I'm just checking that I've done them right, because where I've had interruptions, yeah, that looks roughly about it. So I'm just gonna lightly mark, because this is either going to be cut off or inside a pocket, so you're not gonna see it, and it just helped me to know where I'm going. Oh, I just moved that completely, and there, and then the next one is there. Oh, and yeah, it's roughly right. It will be once I score it, because it'll be a better line than me keep getting confused. Right, so I know I definitely want to lose this first bit. So I'm going to cut that up to the first line, because this won't need the little bit. I'm going to cut that up that first score line, so it was 4 1/4. I'm just straightening this up. Right. Now I also know that I want this bit down here to be a pocket, so although it's been scored already at the half, I want to put it on here, and up to that line I want to score a 1/4 there, and I want to score on the 1/4, oh, without it moving, hopefully. Let's score the 1/4 up to there. And this one is already a 1/4, not a half. It's just so that my little pockets are going to be able to fold in at the edges and become the walls, because Dawn had this as a flap, so those bits was cut off. But I want them to fold in on themselves to make the walls of the pocket. So again, I'm cutting on the first line coming from this way. No, I'm gonna score again next to that and line that up and score another 1/4 from the bit that I'm about to cut off. So instead of cutting that whole bit off up to there, I've now scored another line so that that will form the wall of our pocket. And I've got to remember, I've got to take the whole bit off, so I don't need a lip there at all, and come down here. Right, and that bit where I scored too far, I'm just going to flatten that. That's it, and then we lose it there. Right, so at the top I wanted to try and save this one to do something with it, but I don't need none of the rest. So right, so I've got those bits removed, and now I want to try and stick this on the scoreboard and score that 1/4 of an inch little crease that we've got here, that will be the bottom of the pocket. So I'm just doing the best I can with my little scoreboard. Right. So I'm going to make that first fold. Let's cut that because it's tearing. And then these bits are going to form the side of the pocket. So that will go in like that. So I've cut to that crease there, and I'm cutting this little tiny bit there, so that it will be able to fold like that, and that's the wall of our pocket. And so it's a little bit fiddly to get in there. Oh dear, I don't know what's happening, but someone doesn't sound happy. So once I've made them little nicks, like a little tiny, the 1/4 of an inch bit, so that then when we make our other crease there, and we fold along these creases, they will fold around and be our walls. So I don't really need that bit, I can cut that off. See, it's all trial and error, I've never done this before, but I need to cut that because I didn't cut it far enough and it tore a little bit, so I don't want that dodgy edge. So I've got to make sure in here I've cut enough and cut in there. I don't need all that. Right. And so yeah, once we've made them folds, I need to sort that over here. I've got that other little bit in there that I don't need. And then these will fold up, you see, and be our pockets with sides. So once it's all in, it'll look great. But it all needs to be stuck together. But yeah, once I've stuck those in, we've got pockets with walls instead of flaps. So I hope this makes sense because I've never done it before. Right, so now what I need to do is score at 2.5 the whole length of this. So 2.5. Making sure everything is butting up to one another. Sorry about me leaning in, I can't help it. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. At 2.5. 2.5. Oh, that's not butting up and straight. Right, again, 2.5. Right, I need to fold this up a bit. And I can't see the numbers now, so just following that line so it joins up. So this is our top bit and this is our bottom bit once it's all inked and everything else. So I know that I don't need any of this, so I'm just going to cut along that score line. To here. No, and then we've got our bit there. So I'm just being really careful at the minute, cutting off what I know that we don't need, and then I can go from there. Because I've not worked out yet this bit. Oh no, I know that that is those two are my kind of spines, so I can lose those. Rather be overcautious and get it right than get it wrong and end up with something that I didn't want. Right, okay. So these are going to be pockets. This is just going to be a flap. Now it's got to be half because this is 1/4, and then when that folds in, that's 1/4 as well. So that makes that half. So if this is going to come down and protect everything, I've got to make a 1/2 inch score in there. So button it up to there, and that's at 1/2 inch. 2.5 is that one. So I've got a score at 2. Okay, so now I know I've got flap, that fits, and as Dawn did with hers, I'm literally just taking off a little bit at each end so that I've got a flap there that don't get caught on anything, and this one is not straight. Nice that now. That's it. Right. So, now, all what's got to be done is everything has got to be inked, and then we can glue these bits in and make our folds much more crisp before we do anything else. So I'm just going to ink all around the edge because that'll take quite some time, and I shall be right back. Right, and I nearly forgot, I will be back after the inking in 1 second. I'm going to round this corner and this corner, and that didn't do very well, and at these two ends as well. That's better. So now I'm going to ink around and I will be right back. Right, so we are all inked all around, and so now I'm just going to glue down the little flat bits that I've done. Right, so I was just about to glue these down. I actually did, look, right? But then I thought it'll be much harder to keep them nice and square and decorate everything. So I thought, right, I'm going to unstick them. So what would have been you watching me stick these, I've cut that out to unstick so I can decorate the whole thing without having these in the way, stopping me pushing down, pressing down where I want to and where I don't, and ending up all in a pickle. So I've undone those, ready for us to start decorating. Right, so what I'm going to do now is flip over, and I want to decorate these pieces. So instead of measurements from now on and that, we're just going to be eyeballing where we want to cut for our outside cover. So there it is. I'm going to, with this, it's not like a pattern where it matters if I'm joining it up. So all I'm going to do is flip it over, and I'm going to do these bits first because they're easiest, and then I'll do the other bits. So I want it slightly in from my fold, so I don't want to cover all of this lovely blue. So I'm going to come in like that, I think about 1/4 inch, and then up about there. So let's have a look what that looks like once I've cut it out. Right, so I started cutting, so that's the first bit that will sit there, and this one be about there, and so that's it, will sit there like that. And then is that what I want a bit at the top? Oh no, it was just the, it looks a bit wonky. Let's see. That's going to go there. Sorry. Right, so with this piece, what I want to do, I'll bring this down so that I can see. I want to be coming in about that much, but I've also got this bit that I'd probably have about there. So I'm going to cut on that furthest outer line. I've gone a little bit above, and then make that more central, maybe a bit more will have to come off, because I was going to try and get a little bit there and there. Try and cut this on my punch board so that I've got a nice little nick. So let me just work this out with a bit of scrap. If I wanted it there and lined up Right, so once I've made my line and I lined that up in the middle, I would get that, and then I can cut that bit away. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I don't know if this is going to work out or not. And there. Right. We can only try, can't we? We're just experimenting. If it's gone wrong, it's gone wrong. It may go wrong because I had it round the other way, and that might not have been the best way to line it up. Ha! That's alright. I don't mind that at all. So once the corners are rounded on that edge, and sit like that, I think that's quite cool. Right, so I've got them 3 bits. I've got to try and do this end now. And it is all trial and error, it really is. So we've got a bit like this, but we need smaller. I want it the same size as the other bits, so that I know, so that it all looks tidy and the same. So there. Right, so it's the same height. Right, let's see, just roughly. How I would get them. That's what I've got to figure out, those bits. So I've got a bit of scrap that I can sort of do a practice one on. So I would get my paper, right, which is there, and I would want the bit going in there and there. So I'm not sure if I'd have to line it up. Oh, I suppose the same way, but then cutting inwards instead of outwards. So let's flip it over. And we'll just make a little mark there and there. Well, it's just an experiment. I don't know how this is going to come out. So it's just rough guide. And there. And roughly there. Right, so whereas that end we cut off the outer bits, I'm going to cut off the inner bit. And that should make our bit there, like that. Yeah, it does. So all I need to do is round the corners. And then I'm going to ink all round these. And I think I'm going to leave that. Then, once we've inked and stuck them on, I'm going to leave that then until part 2. Because that will be all the outside. So I'll ink these and be right back. Right, so they're all inked around now. All 4. I think, yeah. And so I'm just going to stick these down, and then I think we'll be ready to leave that for tonight or today, whatever time you're watching it, and come back to do the inside or start work on the inside in the next one, because to get everything I want in this little folio done, it will take a couple of parts, but let's face it, we've all got time on our hands, haven't we? So, well, a lot of us have. So, yeah, I'm just gonna get these bits stuck down, and then I'll think about what's going on the inside, because like I've said, it's all new to me, it's all trial and error. So let's just see how it goes and work it out with each other as I go along, you know, winging it as always. but that's fine. We took our inspiration from Dawn over at the Book Vandal Shop with her little folio, and I got my base measurements and that all from her. So if you want to make one like that, which has got these 3 panels but not this one, then go over there, and she's got a brilliant step-by-step tutorials on how to get it done, which that I showed you in the beginning, the first one. I'm working on one of those right now because the idea was fabulous, but then I thought I needed something with another extra bit, so that's why I'm trying to make up this one as I go along, working out what I need and where. So now let's get it round. These bits will be glued down with something covering them, but we've got our bit there, our bit there, and our bit there. That will come down there. Oh, so I'm going to need a bit of this for there, just so that it all ties in, everything that goes as if it's going to be on an outside somewhere, which is that. We'll have a bit of that. So I'm not doing that on these pockets because this is going to be all different on the inside, but I do think we need a bit up here for what's it, continuity. So that will be coming down, so I need to remember to be that way up. I kind of like that eye. Let's have that. So the width I'm going to need is about there, because we're coming in a bit, remember, and I'm going to need it about that deep. Right, I'll just cut that bit off where I drew. Where did I draw them lines? Ah! Can't be that wide. Well, we'll see. Oh, that might be a line from something else. Right. Like that. And obviously cutting off those corners. So that it will be like that. Right, that corner is a little bit weird. That's it. And it will sit like that. That's it. So I'm just going to ink around that. And I want a lot more pockets, like I say, pockets on top of these, but I just wanted to mat all of these down first, so it's got extra strength and everything. And yeah, all got like the same kind of base, but I am gonna do a lot of different bits and bobs on top here and there, because I like my boho journals to be full of colour, and this little folio is no different. Even though I've started with all this blue, we are going to have a lot more colour. Okay, I'm sure you spotted the mistake. I only just spotted it. In a minute I'm going to say goodbye, and I will still have it like this with that panel upside down. I didn't realise. All the other bits are okay, but that, my front bit, is upside down. I'm sure you spotted it. So in a minute I will be saying goodbye again with that upside down bit. But yeah, as soon as I turned the camera off, I noticed it. So I've cut another bit, slightly smaller, that I'm going to stick there, and that's going to be a pocket. So I've already inked all around it, and now I'm just going to glue it on. So yeah, in 2 seconds you're going to see me saying goodbye with the finished article without this pocket, because I literally, as soon as I turned the camera off, I hadn't even properly got out of my seat. I half stood up and was like, oh no, look what I just did. and yeah, it's because I was like sort of folding it and had it turned over rather, and was then measuring and cutting on the reverse. There was no way that was ever gonna be the right way up, because then the flaps will be going that way. So yeah, it was total boo-boo on my part, but ta-da! We've saved it, and now we've got a little pocket there. So yeah. Now I'm going to say goodbye without the pocket. That is the end of part 1. I hope it was all not too confusing of me at the beginning, not really knowing what I was doing, but I was trying to work out these bits and that, because it's a new thing for me, you know. So I hope you wasn't too frustrated, and that I didn't explain it too confusing, you know. Like I said, Dawn has got a brilliant tutorial over on her channel to do, not this one, to do this one, and this is just part 1 of it. There's loads of pockets and bits and bobs and that. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this one. As you can see, I've started it. I watched part 1, because when I first watched them, I didn't have none of these file folders, couldn't find any, and Dawn sent me a load in Happy Mail, and I have used one of the types that she sent me for my nature ephemera folder that I sold and filmed a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I really wanted to do one of these, and so the reason I want these little pockets and that, I want to put a small journal in this one. So yeah, it, as you can see, it can only be thin, but everywhere else will have all the ephemera that can go into this little notebook. Maybe like this kind of size. It'd have to be a little bit smaller, but yeah, no, that would probably fit perfect. Something that big, so that might be cool. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you come back for part 2, where we'll start having fun putting it more together. And yeah, stay well, stay safe, just stay home, and yeah, stay wonderful. I'll be back with something very soon. Love you loads. Bye.